All right now. All right. Where did we begin? Where did we begin? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was the night of the carnival. It was the night.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tully Television, the first edition of Tully Television. Thank you for stopping by once again. To all my new viewers, thank you for coming by. I hope that I can earn you subscription today. That little red subscribe bar down below is ready for you to smash it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. Today, though, on the first edition of Tully Television, I'm doing my retro blast today. And in remembrance of the romantic hangover that we're suffering from Valentine's Day, my retro blast is going to be the love story known as The Notebook. The Notebook, The Notebook. One of my personal favorite love stories of all time. Definitely a heart tugger to say the least. But let's get into it. The Notebook. Woo! Came out June 25th, 2004, so that fits within my mold of Retroblast. 10 years or older, and has to have some sort of impact on pop culture, whether it be as a cult classic, a big box office hit, independent movie that everyone talks about, but it's got to be at least 10 years old. Alright, the cast. Sorry. We have Ryan Gosling as Noah, Rachel McAdams as Allie, one of my favorite roles by Rachel McAdams, of course, was from Mean Girls. James Garner plays Duke. Gina Rollins plays older Allie. James Marsden plays Lon Hammond. We start off with the movie of Noah and Allie meeting each other at like a state fair type of thing, as they go and spend some time there, because Allie is in town for the summer, and her and Noah have met and they fall in love. However, as their love begins to bloom and mature, and the infatuation is wonderful, and they can definitely see some sort of obvious connection there, we come to find out that the mother of Allie is not very happy about this romance. Allie's parents are well-to-do, affluent, nice house. They got the buckaroos. It's all about the money for the mother. And Noah is a working class schlub compared to this type of social standing. He is a man of the earth, salt of the earth type of man, works with his hands and stuff. And eventually the mother decides to move the family. The morning that they move, it was a surprise to Allie and to Noah. Allie goes to where Noah is working. She comes across a friend of his and saying that basically he's out running an errand, and she has to go then and there, and she asks the friend to tell Noah, like, sorry, but I have to go. I'm not going to be around anymore. My mother's moving us. She leaves. Noah comes back. He's heartbroken. Writes a letter to her every day for a year straight. 365 letters to her straight. And the mother was receiving them all and failed to report that to the daughter. They moved to their city residency, and he was able to find out where they live. So what he decided to do was, write her a letter, one letter a day, He winds up getting drafted into World War II. This is taking place in the 40s. So at this point, it's kind of like things have moved on for sure. We see both moving on with their life when, or at least Allie is. When Noah comes back from war, he's still kind of lingering on his feelings for Allie. When he comes across his father tells him that he sold the house and decided to buy the Windsor plantation. Why the Windsor plantation? Well, because during that summer fling that Allie and Noah were having, they were near that house, and he was telling her how he would like to build her dream home at that property. And that's when, that was the night the mother discovered that, like, they were together and stuff, and that's when, that was put to bed. So he spends all this time refurbishing this house to his remembrance of what she would do with the house, and he finally gets all his plans together and goes down to, I guess, get the plans approved in the city at wherever the city center is, like the government building that every town and city has. As he was going there, he notices Allie on a bus and kind of chases the bus around and follows her and realizes that she has found someone, because he sees her kind of getting lovey-dovey with someone. Like when you see your boyfriend or girlfriend, you give them a hug when you're meeting them somewhere, and he kind of, gets upset. He finally, though, confronts her, and they have this big fight about how if he really wanted her, he would have chased her down. And he finally told her, he was like, well, what about all those notes I was writing? I wrote you like basically a love letter every day for a year, and you never responded. Come to find out that when the mother was confronted about holding the letters back, Allie got mad at her, and Noah and Allie met and became involved in a romantic entanglement. He brings her to that plantation house. He shows her all the great work he's been up to. She's in awe, but she kind of is telling him, like, I'm with someone now. I can't do this with you anymore. I can't. It's unfair to my fiance. But as it's being unfair to her fiance, they wound up doing their taxes. They were doing their grown folk thing. They were doing their paperwork, you know what I mean? They were putting in that paperwork. And finally, the boyfriend of Allie, the current boyfriend, kind of finds out where she's at through the mother and confronts her at the house, Noah's house. And, that went as well as to be expected. He was sitting there and basically saying, like, well, if this is what you want, Allie, you have to let me know, because I'm not going to sit around. Like most guys aren't going to be a simp or anything like that to that degree. You either want to be with him or you want to be with me. I'm not going to sit around as you do your taxes with him and then you want to come home and do my taxes with me. No. So basically, Allie and Noah get back together, and you may be wondering why, if you haven't seen this movie, why it's called The Notebook. The reason why it's called The Notebook, because the story of Noah and Allie is being read by James Gardner, the character Duke, and he's reading it to an older lady in the nursing home that they both live in. And we find out that they're Noah and Allie as older people. But Allie doesn't remember any of this. She has Alzheimer's, dementia, which affects your long and short-term memory. So even though she's having Noah read her their love story almost every day, she forgets. Even if she remembers, she forgets. They did have a family, because in one scene you see the kids and grandkids come in and hanging out with James Garner, and he had Allie, and he had to play it off like, hey Allie, this is my family, which is also your family, but I don't want to overwhelm you because you forgot that this is your family. It's a difficult thing. I dealt with it with my grandmother. She had bad Alzheimer's, and it's a difficult thing to deal with a loved one. So, it kind of, I feel a special connection to that part of it anyway. And as any true love story, James Gardner is stuck by his woman's side. He didn't have to be living in that old-timers house building with her. He could have been living in his own home, because he was fine. Like, I mean, yes, he was an old man, but he wasn't like, oh, where am I? He would be a functioning older person, one of those people that can go to the store and this and that and be fine. But he didn't want to leave her side at all. And near the end of the movie, they wound up both passing away, basically in each other's arms. And that's the story of The Notebook. A love story that spanned decades. Love stood by, made people stay by each other even through difficult times. And love isn't easy, man. I mean, love is easy, but living with someone is hard. Okay, it's easy, when you put yourself out there and it's scary and you're not sure if this is what you want. But if people are really willing to stick by your side, even through rough times, even through arguments, even through some really bad name-calling sessions or whatever, or this and that, if you have someone who is genuinely in love with you and wants the betterment of you, it's hard to hear difficult things about yourself and admit that you could be flawed. It's difficult to accept that, because then it shows a sign of weakness to the other person. But I really hope that you enjoyed the story. If you haven't already, like I said, subscribe, like, comment, and until next time, peace, Snookums.
Good night.
Good night. I'll be seeing you.